A rising flame was alight as the flow of time carved a new history for Fódlan. With the fall of Ferdinand, the Holy Kingdom of Fargus and the Church of Seiros both vanished into the people's memories. Fódlan was finally one unified nation, under the rule of Emperor Edelgard and the Agarthans Empire. Embracing her newfound power, Edelgard could at last set about destroying Fódlan's entrenched system of nobility and rebuild a world free from the tyranny of crests and status. Yet, beneath the surface, an unseen and silent struggle began to take shape. From her seat of power, Edelgard could at last wage war on those who slither in the dark.
The children of the goddess have been defeated at last. The shape of the world will be forever changed. Humanity is free now. The world is ours once again. Can you believe it?
Yeah, it seems impossible, but you know, it's not over yet. There's always more work to do.
True. There is still much to be done. We can't ignore the possibility that our enemies will resurface one day. In the end, the fate of this world depends on the choices we make. I don't know what the future holds, but come what may, will you stay by my side? You chose to protect me at the Holy Tomb. Will you choose me again? What I'm trying to say is, I need you.
Oh, please accept this gift. As if I'm going to walk away after all of that.
You called me Elle. That means more than I can say. And this ring, it's lovely. Thank you, my dearest friend. I will happily accept it. I must admit, I feared my feelings would be unrequited. So long as I had you by my side, it never mattered how many enemies I amassed. You were all I needed. All this time, I longed to share my feelings with you, and it seems you wished for the same. Now, our wishes have come true. This feeling, it's overwhelming.
Oh, promise to always be there for you. I have been so far.
Together we can achieve anything. We will crush those who slither in the dark and restore peace and order to Fódlan. I will then find a suitable successor and hand over the reins of the Empire. When all that is done, it will be just the two of us. I look forward to starting our life together in the light of a glorious new dawn.
Oh, let's make it happen.
Yes, that is all we can do for now. We must remain focused on our goals. To think that I may truly call you my partner and equal now. The solitary reign of Edelgard has come to an end. From now on, we walk this path together. With time and care, the darkness shrouding this world will be lifted. You and I will become the light that shines over Fódlan, just as you have shined upon my life.
Oh, there we have it. The fourth and final route. 3 houses. Let's see. I did want to say that you know, this was actually the first route I played when the game first came out. There are so many gaps in the story when you do that, it turns out. I had so many unanswered questions after that very first playthrough. But, you know, I'm glad that I started this project and played through all of the stories, and now pretty much all of my questions have been answered. Like, I always thought it was a shame that, for example, Arianrhod, the destruction of Arianrhod was just completely off-screen. Just, hey, you won, you took it, and then immediately, immediately after you take it, oh, by the way, it's been destroyed. Blue Lions, the same, has kind of the same problem. If I'm just talking about them individually. But I do think that this route is much greater served by having done the other routes beforehand. And that was another reason why I decided to save this for last on stream. Because knowing more about Byleth's origins, knowing about or learning about the origins of the Relics and Crests and all that. I feel like that's pretty important context that explains more, that better explains Edelgard's motivations. Because it's not just that the church is... well, I mean, the whole thing with Crests was that they were created by the Agarthans, right? Those who slither in the dark. And the church is using that to their advantage to kind of control all of Fódlan, right? So when you think about it like that, it makes what Edelgard's ambitions are make a lot more sense, I feel. So I have a newfound appreciation for this specific route now that I've played the other three. Oh, wow. Here's the other fun thing. We get to see all of the paired endings I ended up with. I didn't really plan any of these out. So, this is interesting. Let's see. Alright, I guess Lawrence... Yeah, she does deserve better. Lawrence is... I think I've said this before. Lawrence does improve after the time skip as a person. It's just that he goes from absolutely unbearable to kind of tolerable. But I will say, though, there's supports where she's just, like, endlessly reading him for filth. Those were great. Oh, there's Anna. She got to participate. Let's see. Other thoughts I had about the game. All in all, I do want to say that the final chapter of the Golden Deer story is just totally nonsense. It just comes out of nowhere. I kind of wish they didn't do that. Part of me thinks that maybe it would have been better if the church story, the Silver Snow final chapter, and the Verdant Wind final chapter were switched. Because, I mean, oh, suddenly Nemesis is back, and so are the 10 elites, and they've all got, like, dark versions of their relics, and they're rampaging across the continent. That happening in the very last chapter, it's stupid. There, I said it. It's stupid. It's got, like, no connection to the Golden Deer, to the Alliance, the Claude. I think it would be better as part of the Church story, just because, you know, the battle against Nemesis and his elites was like such a big, you know, foundational moment for the Church, that for them to, you know, rear their heads again and come back, I think would be a fitting end to the Church story. Let's see what's going on with Marianne and Ferdinand. Statue for Marianne that she then hides. Ah, yes, and Yuritsa, his whole thing, like, it seems like he's aligned with those who slither in the dark, but that is not the case. He's only ever working under Edelgard. Oh, Hubert didn't get married. That's too bad. Yeah, if you do the paired ending for that, I guess we can call it a reader exercise if you want to see it for yourself. But they do go on to fight those who slither in the dark together. Like, the two of them, I guess. I only kind of skimmed over it. But they go on to that underground city, Shambhala, and they're covering each other's backs as they're surrounded by, like, those giant mechs and tearing them to pieces. I kind of glossed over what happened with Petra and Ash. I'm so sorry. Let's see. Dorothy and Felix kind of went their separate ways, but Felix always comes back to the Opera House. Okay. Professor Linhart. All right, I like it. Oh, snap, really? Oh, damn. I cannot believe I didn't know this. I cannot believe I've put over 240 hours into this project, and I did not know that you could just press A, have all the text appear, and then just manually advance. Let's see. Oh my god. Married professors. Alright. Bernie and Raphael, what do we got? Oh, that's cute. He helped her get over her fear of people, and then they got married. Oh boy. Let's see. Alright, Balthus helped out Lysithia's family. Lysithia gave up her title. Oh, right. Well, they got along. It's fine. 239 battles. Wow, Balthus. Can't believe I used him that much. Alright. Well, that. Yeah. Let's see. Happy and Constance journeyed across Fódlan. Helped in rebuilding. Even the occasional sigh. Oh no. Ingrid and Yuri, go figure. Let's see. She got her territory back. Not well beloved, fair enough. She did abandon her territory before. And of course, Yuri came in to help her out. Okay. Right, here we go. Wings of the Hegemon. Wow, that's a hell of a title. I remember the Hegemon fight. Lost power of progenitor god, doesn't matter. And like the destruction of Arianrhod, the war against those who slither in the dark is also handled entirely off screen. Just gotta assume that it worked out in the end. And that's it. That's it for the endings, the individual endings. There's nothing left but the credits. Oh boy. Now let's see. What was I saying? Right. Earlier I was talking about how I feel like the Golden Deer and the Church stories final chapters should switch. Right. I was saying that having to fight Nemesis again, as if there was a first time. But having to fight a revived Nemesis seems like the perfect end for the story of the Church. Again, just because the Church was pretty much founded on the defeat of Nemesis. And then similarly, with Claude's story, you know, his whole thing is about breaking down the barriers between Fódlan and the outside world, right? And the Church of Seiros kind of has a significant part in that barrier. So, like, even if Rhea is not an antagonist in his story, in the Golden Deer story, being like the symbol of the Church, it makes sense that I think it would make more sense if the final battle was having to destroy this, you know, the biggest symbol of the Church is kind of well, a symbol of something bigger, of breaking down that barrier between Fódlan and the outside world. Because other than that, like, the two stories pretty much follow virtually the same trajectory. But no, I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do a maddening run. The closest I ever got to doing maddening was when the Cindered Shadows DLC first came out. I thought, you know, the main game was pretty easy. Maybe I'll try playing this on hard mode. And then I kind of got my ass kicked So I'm not inclined to do maddening mode. Even if I had New Game Plus to work from. That's not going to happen. Truth be told, it's probably going to be a good long while before I play this game again. Because it's been so long. Over 240 hours on this file after 4 stories. Special boot screen. No, you can't tell me that. You can tell me that. That's fine. I'm not going to earn that ever. That's not happening. I'm saying that here and now. It's just not happening. I feel like... Well, I didn't get, you know, absolutely everything that I could. There were a couple of paralogs that I wasn't able to do just because of the self-imposed rules I had for this playthrough, for this series of playthroughs. Namely, the part where I didn't, until this last playthrough, I didn't recruit anyone out of house. So all I had was just the default students for each route. Because what I wanted, because I knew what would happen was if I had everyone all the time, I would just gravitate towards, you know, a select handful. And I wanted to give all the other students a chance to shine, to have their own turn in the spotlight. There are a couple of paralogs that you can only get in Part 2, and only if you've recruited students from outside of your house. So, I was not able to do those on stream. It's just how it goes. We did not get to see Caspar challenge the Death Knight to protect Mercedes. What was the other one? I think Ferdinand and Lysithia have one. That's about... I want to say that's about how just awful Ferdinand's dad is. I think. I've never actually played it. That's just what I remember from reading the summary of it. Anyway. What other final thoughts do I have? Obviously, I really like the game. I would not have been playing this for so long. I started streaming this last April. So it's been over a year. And I would not have stuck it out if I didn't like this game. Really good. I love all the characters. I love most of the characters. Let me correct myself right away. Most of the characters are great. Let's see. If I had to pick a house though, I guess I would still pick Black Eagles. Is my favorite overall bunch, with the Golden Deer being a very close second. It's not that the Blue Lions are bad, per se. It's just that I don't like them quite as much, I find. They all have their moments, it's just that they're not really for me. Golden Deer unfortunately has to suffer having Lawrence in the group, so, you know. What else did I want to say? I guess I could say that, you know, I'm really looking forward to Three Hopes, which is coming up in exactly a month. Lawrence can be killed off, though. You know what? That's true. I just hadn't considered that because it completely and utterly goes against my instincts when it comes to playing Fire Emblem. Even if I don't like them, I can just simply not use them. Although, I will say, I did make Lawrence my dancer in my Golden Deer playthrough. And the reason for that, just to restate it, was that he wasn't particularly strong either physically or magically. So everyone else in the class, you know, had some offense that they could do. Even like Ignatz, he still had you know, he could debuff with his combat arts. Lawrence couldn't really do anything. He was the weakest physical unit. He was the weakest magical unit. So I made him the dancer because you don't want your dancer to do attacks anyway. Usually, a dancer is best utilized by giving a stronger unit an extra turn. So even Lawrence managed to find a way to contribute something. I'll give him that. The other reason I did it is because of Flane. I had already used Flane as my dancer with the Blue Lions. And obviously, Dorothea was my dancer with the church story. So, yeah. As I said, I'm really looking forward to 3 Hopes. That should be fun. I'm almost certainly going to stream that game. The only thing is, I'm not going to do so right away. Just because, you know, I want to be able to play it at my own pace and not have to wait until I have, say, a day off from work. And have to wait days and days between playing. That's true. But from what I'm not going to say I have like a ton of experience with the Warriors games. I mean, I've played a bit of Dynasty Warriors back in the day. Hyrule Warriors I've played. Fire Emblem Warriors. But speaking of Hyrule Warriors as an example, the gameplay shifted in style quite a bit from Hyrule Warriors to Age of Calamity. There was still that Warriors Musou gameplay, but it still felt a lot more. Well, I guess you didn't have the just roving exploration of Breath of the Wild. But it was less, it felt more Zelda-like than just, here's the Dynasty Warriors with a Hyrule skin over it. So in that way, I'm looking forward to seeing how 3 Hopes is going to change to be more like Fire Emblem than Fire Emblem Warriors was. Or another example, Persona 5 Strikers. I mean, that was a game that was, well, you just make it Warriors style combat, but other than that, it was still still felt very much like Persona 5. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Three Hopes is gonna feel like. I just like to only stream games that I've played and beaten before, just so I have an idea of how, well, kind of how to block things out. But also so I don't get stuck. Persona 5 Strikers was on PC, PS4? Maybe also PS5? Switch? Although I think the Switch version... Oh yeah, no, it's... I'm sure it's out in English. Yeah, Switch, PS4, and Steam. That's where Persona 5 Strikers was released. Yeah, I prefer to beat games first before I stream them. So I know how a stream would look like. So I know what I'm getting into, so I don't end up having a bad time that I wasn't expecting. And just having a miserable experience. Actually, that happened with me with Fire Emblem 1 when they released that translated version on Switch. I tried to stream that totally blind, and oof, that was real rough. Yeah, it was amazing to see, though. I will say this. It was amazing to see just how many quality of life changes the series has had. Like, say, being able to tell how far your units can move, or getting a prediction of how much damage or how much accuracy or your critical rate before you engage in combat. Being able to see the enemy's movement and attack range, that kind of thing. Turns out when you don't have all of those, you got to be real dedicated to play that. Yeah, Awakening is definitely the start of the modern ones. Where they were kind enough to introduce, say, casual mode, which I will gladly use, because I do remember back when they finally brought Fire Emblem to the West, the pain of, you know, having a unit die, like at the end of a battle, and just having to reset the whole chapter. That's why I battle saves were casual mode only. That too. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah. This has been going on for kind of a while. Divine Pulses. Oh my god. Such a huge, huge quality of life thing. I don't know if I could ever go back. Well, that's a lie. I could definitely go back to a Fire Emblem without Divine Pulses. It's just that I might end up using a platform where I could kind of institute my own version of Divine Pulses. I kind of already did that, to be honest. But yeah, that's Fire Emblem Three Houses. In the bag, done and dusted. I never have to touch this game again.